Hello and welcome to the Projector project. My name is Diederik. I'm a 5'1" splenic projector with a defined spleen and heart. It's also the only strength that I have, the 4426. Representing and talking to you today about being a quad right. Being a quad right. So I discovered that I was a quad right quite a while ago. Again, I've been experimenting with human design for 7 years now. I've been doing it professionally for 2 years, focused on business and the career application of human design. So we don't really get into the quad right as much in that. By the way, you are joining me for a hike in the Catalan mountains outside of Girona/Barcelona in Spain. That's where you're at with me. Thank you for joining me on this hike. So, quad right, what does that mean? It means that if you are a quad right, or your family, friend, child, partner, if you're quad right, it means you are fully receptive. It means that your mind is not meant for focusing. It also means that you are here to embrace a quality that we would call a feminine quality, fully feminine. It's really, they say the feminine is all of possibilities, all the energy, and the masculine is the focus point, the using that energy in an actionable way. And we call that being strategic. When you have your arrows to the left, if you would be a quad left, you would be hyper strategic. You're all about how to use the resources, what to do with the resources. If you're the quad right, you are the resource. You are the resource. You take in everything around you. Everything. You take in everything. You're like a sponge to your environment, and you take in information and knowledge without you even knowing that you're doing it. And it takes other people to bring it out of you. That's what it means to be a quad right. And so we are the resource, but we need strategic people to use our resources properly. Now, I find this very interesting for those that have gate 48, gate of depth, that one is similar in that we also take in so much, and it takes other people to pull it out of us. Someone will ask us a question, and then all of a sudden we just answer, and we don't know where the answer is coming from. That's been my experience. Sometimes I'm like, I'll wait for the next word to drop, and then it comes, and I'm like, oh, where did that come from? That sounded good. And then the other person's like, wow, that's a good one, or that's a good question. I'm like, so I think that's why it's so important that we really cultivate and curate a healthy environment for us, especially as quad rights or people with gate 48, but quad rights specifically, because we take everything in. And because we take everything in, and this is my own interpretation of this, is that we're going to be super sensitive to all the things that we feel around us, all the emotions from other people, everything. We're going to feel that so strongly, and it can lead to people-pleasing tendencies. Because it's like, okay, these people around me, whether it's my parents or siblings or colleagues or peers at school, if I make them feel good in their body, then I can feel good in my body. At least that was the prevailing thought and belief at the time, which didn't always serve me at all. Actually, you know what it did? It did make me very, very sensitive to the needs of others. In fact, I read somewhere that when you are a people pleaser like that, and you're always looking around and seeing how everybody's feeling so you can do and be who you need to be to help them or to assist them or to make them feel better so that you can feel better, you actually have a highly developed third eye. But it makes the lower chakras, you're not going to be grounded. You're not going to be grounded and feel safe in your body and secure in being yourself. So being a quad right is kind of a challenge, guys. And you know, they say, like, for example, if we're meant to learn something, we're just meant to show up and take in the information and be present. And I think this is really interesting. Basically, they're saying just be present. Just be present. Like, say you go to a lecture, you take in the lecture, you're fully present, you don't take notes, you're just there. And you just take it in, and then after the lecture, if someone comes up to you and says, hey, what was this lecture about? It just comes out of you and you can answer the question. And I think that's really interesting because, again, it's all about how our minds work. And we're not meant to focus our mind. So what I've been experimenting with, and then I want to see how that goes. And it requires a certain level of surrender, because it's like I'm not consciously holding my knowledge and my wisdom. It takes someone else to bring it out. So that means I have to trust that when I create the right environment, it will come out. Oh, this view. So yeah, being a quad right, it's really interesting. So the experimentation is, you know, sometimes when I'm listening to something, I'll start like trying to mentally hold the information. Or I'll, you know, if I'm watching a human design thing, I'll start thinking about a friend or a family member that has a certain, whatever it is that's being talked about in the video, and I'm not present anymore, right? Now I'm in my mind. And I have found with my clients, you know, when I'm doing the coaching and I'm just like, I'm fully present, there is a quality to it that is, when I'm truly present that way, it's really powerful, because I do feel like I'm taking someone in fully. Now, as projectors, you know, we're going to be absorbing people's auras anyway, but I feel like this just takes it to a whole nother level. And then being a 5-1, you know, that's all about, that 5 is all about the projection field. And then being a projector, it's like super projection with the 5. And then being a quad right, yeah, it's really taking a lot. But just going back to with the client, like, I just feel like I'm there with them. I'm really taking them in on all levels energetically. I can just listen and hold the space with unconditional love. And then I can just feel where the energy, where there's something where the energy doesn't match, where it doesn't match them being fully in their power. Because I'm always about, you are a creator of your reality, and by taking full accountability for everything in your reality, you are free to create the reality that you love, because you are powerful beyond measure, my friend. And, you know, being a projector, it's just telling us, again, we can manifest anything just like any of the other types. It's just what are our strategies to get there? How do we do it? We do it differently than a manifester. We do it differently than a generator, a manifesting generator, or a reflector. And then being a quad right, they say the quad right is actually the 5th type, because it's so different from the rest. And apparently there are, I think it was 300 million people or 400 million people in the world statistically that are quad rights. And we are apparently the resource of the future. We are there when the internet no longer works, because then all we need is the right environment and be present. And if someone asks us something, we'll be able to grab information and knowledge from the recesses of our being that we don't know are there until they're pulled out of us. And then it's like, whoa, okay. But yeah, again, this quad rightness and then being a projector, I just found that, like, in an hour-long session with a client, sometimes it's just a few questions I'm asking that shift people. And those questions, I don't know where they come from. There's no agenda behind it, behind those questions. It's just really, yeah. I feel, I wonder what you guys think. If you have experience being a quad right, or you have people that are quad rights. Before I go on, just wanted to share this breathtaking view with you. Absolutely stunning. That I really feel And again, this is a how do you call it, a theory I have, that whether it could be the quad rightness, it could also be having, for me, my head center and my ajna open, undefined rather, that there's a certain amount of channeling I feel that comes through. Again, I don't know where the questions come from sometimes, or even now as I speak, like I'm not really thinking. I'm not thinking about what my next word is going to be. I'm just speaking. I'm channeling. I'm being very present with myself right now. I'm very present with you all. I'm able to give myself breaks too in breathing, because that's all about the quality of being present. Is, you know, when I'm in my mind, I hold my breath. I don't know if you guys have that, but I hold my breath when I'm really thinking. Like, I'll just stare out in nothingness, and I'm in my head, in my actual head, imagining things now, mentally. And now I have the 41 as my conscious sun, so that's the gate of fantasy and daydreaming about all kinds of things. And there's a lot of power in that, but it can also distract me just a little bit and take me out of the present moment. So again, with this quad rightness, as I continue to experiment, it is all about being that resource and really going with the flow. I feel like it's deeply, deeply spiritual, but also deeply mundane. Don't get me wrong, it's not always about it being spiritual. I just feel that it's like, again, mentioning this channeling, that it just, there's something that just like flows through you, through the heart. I'm deeply, honestly, deeply humbled by it. There's so much grace to it. So much grace to being a quad right. It requires, again, a level of surrender that I don't think a lot of people understand. And it just really, again, it's a different way of living, particularly if you're a projector. So again, if you're not a projector and you're watching this, I'm curious as to your experience being a quad right and really, really feeling things. There's a lot more that comes to, into play about being a quad right, but it's not coming through for me as we speak. I think I'm going to be signing out here soon. But I will be continuing my experimentation. Again, I'm curious as to your experience being quad right. Please comment, like, subscribe for more of this human design content, projector project experiment, where we really get to go deep into being the projector. Because honestly, guys, like, I don't know about you, but I'm a quintessential projector because I just want other people to thrive. And when they thrive, I thrive. And I always have this win-win mentality. Like, how can I look at this from a bigger perspective and really maximize the win-wins for everyone? Because there's always the best case scenario, the best outcome, always. And it's not even about compromise. This is, I feel like, what a quad right really comes in, when you can just take in all of the energetics and like, where can we bring this and how can we bring this to the highest vibration, to that unconditional love where everybody walks away stronger. Everybody walks away feeling more connected to self and others. This is particularly true in conflict situations. I always see it as an opportunity to grow even closer together, to have an even deeper bond. Because when you move from conflict, not just to diplomacy, but peace, for those that are Gene Keys aficionados, this is Gene Key 6, I believe. So, yes, the quad right quad rights out there, keep doing your thing, keep surrendering into a certain level of femininity. Let me know if you think that's actually applicable in your experience, that this is a feminine thing. And again, the using of the mind, like in a very practical way. Like, are you in your mind? Are you trying to figure things out in your mind? It's telling you no. It doesn't work that way. Funny enough, I find this actually, I just wanted to share this, and I'm still integrating this knowledge and this experiences when I partake in cannabis or marijuana, ceremonially or not intentionally, or not, even though now it is much more intentional. What I find often is that when I start going into my mind, like the energy just kind of gets frazzled. But if I'm present, fully present, it really opens up something completely different. And for me, for sure, it like really opens me up. And I don't know if it's the quad right, or gate 48, or being a projector, or being so undefined, or being a 5-1 with the projections. I don't know. But yeah, it's something I want to share. So thank you for watching this episode of the Projector Project. Thank you for joining me. The cows give you their farewell and their love, and so do I. Much love to you, family. Let's do this thing. Let's rock this life. Let's rock this world, starting with ourselves. And yeah, much love, and see you on the next episode. Take care.